So I wanted to share a little bit more about the process that I talk about here on my YouTube channel. And I think the best way really is through demonstration. And again, I'd emphasize that one of the most important things, apart from the connection itself, is the consistency. I've been doing this for over 10 years. And as I learned to do it, and I did it because I needed to find the solution to the stress that I was experiencing. I was motivated, shall we say. As I learned to connect, I realized I was starting to access more and more information. And that's what happens in the connection. Not only are you starting to understand what it is your body's showing you, and you start to enter that dialogue, and you're shifting out of that reactivity that is so common with stress, the overwhelm, the disconnect. And as you observe what's happening and you're able to make a conscious choice to connect with what it is your body's showing you, that's where the shift starts to happen. That's the change, because you're shifting out of that reactivity into a conscious response. And that's already so powerful. And then there's a consistency that you do this every time that you feel something in your body. You're starting to connect with what it is you feel rather than try and get away from what it is you feel because it feels so uncomfortable. And that's why we often end up trying to distract ourselves from this uncomfortable feeling in different ways. But that's where it starts. It starts with a connection, and it starts with that conscious choice, if you like, that awareness. I'm overwhelmed and therefore I need to reconnect. That's what my body's asking me to do, or that's how I can start to create the shift. That's how I can start to create core safety and trust. It's in the way that we show up, not only so the body can start to relax and respond to that connection, your presence is powerful, but it's that trust that you start to build with yourself in your ability to show up, in your ability to create the conditions for your body to heal naturally. And what I found as I did this consistently was that I started to access more and more information. And it wasn't that I was trying to understand, well, there was a part of me trying to understand from the level of the mind, but the more I could be present in my body, the more I started to understand my own inner guidance system, if you like. It's what I'm feeling. It's such a simple thing, but it's so powerful. Of course, there's what we're feeling in that reactivity. That's the trigger, the overwhelm. But as we start to heal and transform that stress reactivity, and the origin, where it first started, and the body's showing you that, where can you feel it? When we start to move out of that reactivity, there's another communication that's happening. That's your intuition. You're going to be able to hear that inner knowing much more clearly. But before you can get to that inner guidance, first of all, we're responding consciously to what the body is communicating in terms of the overwhelm. And again, it's saying, look here, bring your attention here. And as you bring your attention to whatever it is your body's showing you, you are bringing consciousness to something at one point in time you couldn't give your attention to for whatever reason. You were too young, you were too distracted, stressed, overwhelmed. When you connect with your body in this way, it's not with the intention to fix or to get rid of or to stop anything. It's about starting to communicate, about starting to be present and connected and listening to your body. So we're not focusing, say I had a tightness in my solar plexus. If I bring my attention to that in order to try and get rid of it, the body's only going to hold on tighter. And so there's a process. There's a process of building up that trust, building up that connection consistently. And the more you do this, the more you're going to be able to access. The more your inner knowing, that inner voice guidance system, your intuition is going to grow. I work energetically. Energy is information. And so when you're connecting in this way, what you're accessing is information. But it takes consistency and it takes patience. This is what I've been doing for over 10 years. And I've learned so much in that connection about who I am at my core, about the patterns that were created years ago. And it's like joining dots, but it's your own personal puzzle. Only you can access that information. What I do when I'm working with somebody is I connect energetically and I can feel in the body and I can guide people like that. But what I want to do is to show you how to do that, how to read the information, how to communicate with your body, and how to create the conditions to heal and to transform stress. It's very powerful, but it's a process. But we'll do this now. Again, there's no better way than to show through demonstration. And I think the first thing to be aware of is if you are feeling very overwhelmed, easily triggered, very anxious, and you have that chronic stress very present all the time, then the first step is to create the foundations and just to work on connecting and calming the nervous system. That is the first step, because we can't fight through all that noise and reactivity. Again, that's part of creating the safety in that connection. So be aware of that. I'll create a foundational practice, a free audio for anybody who's interested. And again, it's not going to happen perhaps the first time you listen to this audio. It requires that you come back to it in response, a conscious response to what it is your body's communicating, whether it's overwhelm or discomfort or just that call to connect. And in that way, over time, you'll find that you access more and more information. We can start by bringing your hands to your body and closing your eyes and just allow yourself to arrive. By bringing your hands to your body, you'll find it easier to connect, to be present in your body. You're not trying to be present by thinking, you're becoming present by feeling. Okay, what is it you can feel in your body? Allow your body to guide you in this moment. You don't need to focus on any one part of your body. Perhaps your body is communicating louder in a certain area, and you're aware of that. Just allow yourself to be guided in what you can feel, in the sensations. And as you're doing that, there's an awareness of the breath. You can feel the breath move in the body. As you breathe in, there's that gentle expansion in your hands, your belly, your rib cage. And as you breathe out, there's a softening. And now your breath might feel a little bit tight if you've been feeling stressed or anxious or overwhelmed. And you don't need to control your breathing in any way. You don't need to force your breathing. And if you find that bringing your focus, attention to your breath makes you feel more stressed, just bring your attention to your hands. Notice the movement. There's nothing to force. Again, what we're doing here is reconnecting with the body, reconnecting with your core self, reconnecting with the present moment. You're becoming present. And you may not feel it right now, but the more you do this, your presence is powerful. So again, we're not trying to think about what the body is showing us. We're learning to feel, to tune into what we're feeling. And again, there's no right or wrong. Only you can know what you're feeling. And no matter what you're feeling, how uncomfortable, how overwhelmed you feel emotionally, none of this is wrong. So we're letting go of the need to reject or judge or to try and get rid of or fix. There's the curiosity. What is it I can feel? What are the sensations? Where can I feel this in the body? What I do once I've connected with whatever my body is communicating, I often say out loud, because there you're activating the power of your voice and you're acknowledging what it is you feel. Because what you feel matters. You matter. You're recognizing not only what your body's communicating, but you're recognizing yourself and what you feel. Again, this is very powerful. Again, we're just observing what can you feel in the body, allowing your body to guide you simply by connecting with the different sensations. And as you settle on something you feel, you can describe that sensation. Right now I feel tingling sensation in my arms, my upper body. And interestingly, as I said that, I felt a shift of energy. Now, I've been doing this a long time, so I'm not surprised by that. And again, whatever you're feeling, there's no right or wrong. You can say out loud, describe what it is you feel. Describe where you're feeling it. And again, as you do this, not only as you bring your attention to whatever it is the body's communicating in feelings, sensations, emotions, which are also felt in the body, as you say this out loud, you're acknowledging it, acknowledging what you feel. What you feel matters. You matter. And again, you're connecting not to get rid of something, not to fix, not to stop something. You're connecting to start communicating, to listen, to create the foundations for healing naturally, so that the body can come back into balance naturally. And you're connecting to integrate awareness and to acknowledge whatever is coming up for you in awareness. And again, the more you do this, the deeper the awareness, and the more you'll be able to discern your own inner knowing, inner guidance, intuition. You'll start to be able to hear your own voice, which has been drowned out by that noise and reactivity of your body trying to get your attention as it communicates louder and louder, in which you feel as discomfort or stress in the body, in the mind, emotionally. Okay. So again, whatever you've experienced in this moment, in this exercise, is unique to you. That's also important to bring into awareness. And the more you do this, the more you connect in this way, the deeper the awareness, the deeper the connection to your body, your core self, and the present moment. Okay. So, thank you as always for being here and joining me. And I hope that's helped clarify a little bit how I work and the process that I'm sharing, the awareness that I'm sharing in this channel. As always, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your comments, your experiences, any questions. And as always, if you found this useful, please do like, share, and subscribe. Look forward to seeing you in the next post.